Getting started. We're gonna do reading for all of us for this week. All right, so we are going to start with Aries all the way through Pisces. And when I'm done, if you're around and you want a question, I'm happy to pull a card or two to see if we can get an answer for your question. So just keep that in mind. But in the meantime, let's get going. And let's see what's going to happen this week. I think it's January. It's June 16th, where I am. So anyway, grateful, thankful for the messages for each and every one of you out there. We're going to see what's coming through. Grateful, thankful for the messages for this week for all signs. Stacking the deck up to read for all signs. Grateful, thankful for the messages for all my Aries through Pisces. Grateful, thankful for what it is. Aries. All right, let's see what's coming through for each and every one of you guys. All right, so maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. Check your other signs, and if they, because sometimes the rising sign makes a lot more sense than our sun sign. And then there's the North Node. I always check my North Node because that's really accurate. Hey, baby girl, welcome in. Mandy. Hi, how are you guys? Nice to be here. We're starting another week here. So, yeah, you know the protocol, huh, baby girl? So I'm going to be here and do the readings for all of the signs. And then afterwards, I'll stick around and we'll pull cards for all you guys, right? All right, so let's get going. We are looking for messages for my Aries. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Aries for the next week. All right, first card out for you is the Knight of Swords reversed to the Ten of Wands to the King of Pentacles. All right, listen, I think we start out the week with the Knight of Swords, not wanting to put a lot of energy, or whether or not, it could be a situation that you're just kind of pulling back from. There could be, it could be a heavy responsibility that maybe has been put upon you. And I'm just feeling like, when it comes to work this week, that, you don't really want to carry all the weight. You don't want to do all the work. You want to kind of spread some of the responsibilities and jobs to other people. Because it's just not in it. I just don't feel like you have the passion this week when it comes to work. But we do have the King of Pentacles coming out. And I do think, when we see the King of Pentacles, this could indicate either your partner, this could either indicate your boss, but I like the energy of the King of Pentacles because it's pretty solid, very grounded, everything is okay. So yeah, aside from, maybe trying to get other people to help you out because you're just not into it this week. I think, if this is a week to take off and you can, I think that would do you a lot of good because I think you could deal with some time off with this Ten of Wands coming in reversed. All right, so that's what we got for our Aries. Hey, you guys, welcome in. Hi, Tia. How are you? Amruta, welcome. All right, Taurus, let's see what your week's going to look like. And the overall energy of your week starts out with the Six of Swords, all right? So I feel like either in your mind or, maybe you actually are doing it. I feel like you want to move away from a situation or someone where it hasn't been very good, It's just like it's been a little tumultuous. And then we have the Knight of Wands coming in here. Now, the Knight of Wands, this is somebody who likes to go places. And I think maybe that's what the message is. It's, Taurus, you don't want to be in a place where you feel like you can't do your thing. So this week, I think you're going to have this itch to go places, to do things that feel better, things that feel good, especially if life has been a little hard. We do have the Five of Pentacles coming in as well, and it's reversed. One of the cards that I really like to see when it comes upside down, because the Five of Pentacles, it's a hard energy, and it kind of goes along with the Six of Swords. It's like, I feel lonely. I feel like I don't have enough. I feel like nothing's working for me. But when it comes upside down, it's like, no, I'm going to change my attitude. Things are going to turn around. I'm going to have the faith and the courage and the strength to maybe do what I want to really do. And I really feel like for a lot of you Tauruses, you want a little sense of freedom, and have some fun. So if you can, figure out how to have fun this week, Taurus, do that. All right? All right, moving on. Hi, Abigail. Welcome in. Nice to see you. All right, moving on to who's next? Taurus, Gemini. Let's see, Gemini, what's your week look like? All right, I feel like you're dealing with someone. We have a Queen of Wands coming in upside down who, oh, they're a little difficult, maybe a little possessive, they're very jealous, kind of energy. I mean, this is somebody who, really struggles and, goes after things. I want to say out of their insecurities, because Queen of Wands, I think a lot of their emotions act out of insecurities, and it really backfires on them. Because this is somebody who can spit words, spit venom, kind of make your life miserable type of thing. And I feel like some of you Geminis are dealing with someone that you are trying to avoid this week who's like that. We do have the Page of Wands coming in, though, at the end of the week. And the Page of Wands, I feel, you kind of move on. And maybe this is an indication that if this is a work situation, this isn't what you want to do. Maybe it's time to start looking and start new somewhere else. And the Page of Wands can bring good news. So maybe by the end of the week, you receive some good news. Maybe it's about a travel or starting something or even an invitation to go somewhere. But whatever it is, I feel like you are definitely going to stay away from this Queen of Wands as much as you can. Gemini, I mean, sometimes we can't get away from people. But yeah, she's not in a good mood this week. And this could be you. Maybe you're not in a good mood this week. All right, let's see what's going on with my Cancers. All right, Cancers, listen, I feel as if there's celebrations, there's an ending, and I feel like it's a good ending. And it almost relieves the pressure of trying to, deal with, the competition or trying to stay above board, like keeping your head above float. Your head above water. But here we have the Three of Cups and the World card. Some of you guys may do really, really well, like in the social internet world, because a lot of times the World card is a worldly energy. I mean, yes, it talks about the end of a cycle, but, it also has other interpretations. And I'm feeling like with this, there could be celebration over, succeeding on a webinar or webcam or something that you're doing online. I don't know. That's what I'm picking up. But anyway, it's good news for the Cancer clan this week. And I think if you're doing so well, on your own platform, that you don't have to worry about ever having going out and get another job, right? And going up against the competition. So I wish that for all of you out there, all right? So that would be really, really great. All right, moving on to my Leos. We are starting out with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, Nine of Cups to the King of Swords. So, secretly, you don't want to do something. All right, that's what I'm getting. I mean, the wish card here, it's just like you would love to do what you want to do, but you don't want to go to work. You don't want to be around this King of Swords energy. You may have somebody around you who's really difficult and hard to work for. The King of Swords is demanding. Because he wants order, he wants things to be right, they want him to be correct, we know better, it's a professional kind of energy, so it's like, it's got to be clean, it's got to be clear, it's got to look like, somebody didn't do it, in the back of their kitchen. This is somebody who likes to have things in order, and I feel like with the Knight of Pentacles coming in reverse, I mean, you don't want to do this. That's your wish. It's like, I don't really want to do what this guy is telling me to do. So Leo, you might be put in a position where, that's a problem, because, what can you do? I mean, your hands might be tied, but I mean, secretly, I think you're up to something, all right? Because you don't want to work for this person anymore, or you don't want to do what this person wants you to do anymore. And I think secretly, you are really hoping that something else comes through. So that's what I've got for you, Leo, for this coming week. Now remember, these are short periods of time, not a long time. All right, moving on, we've got, let's see, Leo, Virgo. What's going on by Virgos? We got the King of Wands coming in. There could be somebody around you, very, very, creative, charming. I love the King of Wands, because this is somebody who I admire because of their creativity and their business savvy. They're good looking. I mean, this is just a very charming individual. Now, this could be somebody who, you ask to go somewhere and they probably say, no, I don't want to go. And intuitively, I think that was going to be the answer. So if there is some kind of, because this door is closed. I mean, somebody, and he's got his back turned to this four of Wands, and it's reversed. It's like, I don't want to go there. I'm not doing that. So you might be dealing with somebody who, may have promised you to go somewhere or do something with you to a celebration or event, but I think you kind of know they're either going to back out or it's just not going to happen. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Virgo, for this overall energy for this week. All right, moving on. Next in line is Libra. All right, Libra, we got the Knight of Cups coming in reversed. So, you may be dealing with somebody. All right, we got the Page of Cups. If this is somebody new that you've met, I don't think they're very serious, all right? This is, the Knight of Cups coming in reverse. They are still at a point where they just like the good parts of relationships. They don't want to do the work of a relationship, if you get my drift. So this is somebody who likes to go out, have a good time, go to bed, have sex, but be able to do what they want to do. So if you are wondering whether or not this is going to be a serious relationship, I don't really feel like it will be, because I feel as if, from the very beginning, the Queen of Swords, there's questions. I think you question whether or not they really mean it. So follow your intuition on that, because the Queen of Swords, when she's upside down, I just feel as if this person does something that really ticks you off because, you're upset, you're angry, you don't like what they did. So maybe this new relationship, Libra, isn't going to work after all. All right. Anyway, this is going to be a hard week, but just know the Knight of Cups. It's hard to pin down somebody for a long-term commitment or something serious when they just don't want that. All right. So anyway, that's what I'm feeling for you, Libra. Let's move on to my Scorpios. Scorpio, what do we got for you? We have the Nine of Wands coming in reverse to the Three of Pentacles. Now, I feel like when it comes to a situation at work or you working with some other people, I think you're done. All right, when we have the Nine of Wands coming in reverse, this is you kind of cutting your losses. I mean, you have done everything you can to make something work, and it's just not working, And here, when it's upright, you've been wounded. I mean, you got a bandage on, you kind of, you question whether or not they mean what they say. I mean, there's a situation, and, and then we have the Two of Cups coming in. So I wonder whether or not there's somebody at work. Maybe this is a work romance. And I think you questioned what the real motives are, but, I'm just feeling like, you question somebody who you work with, but this is what they really are after. I think there's somebody who has more intentions than work with you, all right, Scorpio? So I think some of you, Scorpio, are going to find out that you have like an admirer at work. I really do feel like that. And, and it could be a really great connection. So if you are single and there is this admirer and there is a connection, I think, it's one of those things that can come up. But, you're kind of like, but why? Why me? And so there is some question there. But I like it, because I think in the end it could really turn into something really good with this coworker. All right, let's see what else is going on. Let's see, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Let's see, Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, we're starting out here with the Five of Cups reversed. I like it, because you're moving on. I mean, here, when you're in the Five of Cups energy, you're depressed, you're thinking about all the disappointment, the hurt, the spilled cups, all of that, right? But when it's reversed, I feel as if you finally decide to, change your attitude, chin up, turn yourself around, cross that bridge, go over here, and, start new. So I like that for you, all right? Because I think you can't pretend anymore that you're in a funk, all right? So some of you guys, Sagittarius, you've got to kind of snap out of it, because when we have the Two of Pentacles coming in reverse, I mean, that always tells me you can't pretend anymore that something is out of balance. And it's coming in with the Sun card here, also reversed. So when we have the Sun card reverse on the outside, you're acting like everything is really great, But the truth is, it's not. You're not that. You've been really, really upset and you've been, not happy. So I think you reach that point where it's just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to have to, figure out how to make my life balance, find some more equilibrium in my life, and make it work, because I just don't want to be in this depressed state anymore. So, I send you lots of strength for that, all right, Sagittarius, because nobody wants to be in that dark, depressive energy. And I think you've been there long enough and you realize it. All right. Let's see, Capricorn, what's coming in for you next? Capricorn, we got the Strength card coming in with the Five of Swords and the Page of Swords. All right, so, I think you got a strong position when it comes to an argument. All right, because here we have fighting. we've got the Five of Swords. You know, this is one of these situations that I feel like when the Five of Swords shows up, you know, there's never a winner. There's a winner, there's a loser. Somebody always has to have the last word, but it's one of those kind of fights that it could have gone differently. All right, but with this, in this fight, and now we have the Page of Swords, I feel like you're going to really say some words. All right, and I think it's going to send them walking. But I do feel like Capricorn in this situation with the Strength card that you do end up having the last word and you are the winner in this fight. All right, so that's what I got for you. All right, let's move on to my Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, we're starting with the Ace of Swords coming in reverse. Don't know how I like about that. All right, so Ace of Swords reversed, Devil reversed. All right, I have a feeling like, you know, you learned something or you know something, you know, that it's not really good for you. And I feel as if, you know, you just can't start it again. All right, the Ace of Swords, you know, this is about a new beginning, some great idea that you have. But here with the Devil card coming in reverse, it's like, you know, you can't go there. So if this is something you want to do and you know it's not good, all right, this is like a deceptive kind of, you know, energy that's trying to pull you to do something you don't want to do. I feel like, you know, you really kind of put a stop to it because we have the Chariot coming in, you know. So either you stop yourself from doing something that you might regret later, or, you know, you don't get involved or engaged with some other situation. It's like you just put a halt on it. So, I mean, that's what I'm picking up here. Now, I love that the Devil energy has come in for you, Capricorn, because, you know, this is your sign, and I feel as if you want to be really healthy and you want to do good things, and you don't want to engage in that toxic kind of energy or behavior. So however the situation is going, I feel as if you know you want to put it to a stop. The Chariot says there's no movement here. We're not going to move forward until we deal with this devil here, until we deal with things that, you know, aren't going to tempt us and get us in trouble. But, you know, the Chariot card can also indicate that you could have some car trouble this week. So be careful of that. So if the check engine light goes on, get it checked out. If your tires need to be filled with some air, put it in there. You know, all of that kind of stuff. Get the oil changed. Just make sure, because this can be hard moving. It's like, it's hard to get to work. It's hard to get out of the house. It's just like the energy is just stuck on so many levels. So just watch that, all right? You know, because Capricorn, I want you to get where you got to go. All right? All right, so next up is Aquarius. Aquarius, we've got the 10 of Cups coming in reverse to the 6 of Cups. So listen, you know, family news. All right, let's talk about the family. There could be some issues with a child that kind of set you back and you just don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle them. What am I going to do with it? You know, because I do get the sense that in a family situation, it has to do with a child. You know, it doesn't have to, but I keep getting that, all right? And here with the 7 of Cups, it's, you know, I mean, maybe you have a difficult child and you don't know, you know, what's next. You've tried everything and, you know, nothing seems to help the child and, you know, you're getting frustrated. It's all that kind of energy. But the 7 of Cups says, take a deep breath, just stop. Let's look at all of our options. And then when we see everything and everything in front of us laid out, we can focus in on what do we got to do first, you know, in order to help our child. Anyway, that seems very specific for someone out there, Aquarius. And last but not least, we're going to do Pisces, and then I'm going to turn my attention to all of you guys in the chat. All right, so give me just a few minutes, and we'll be back for you guys. All right, let's see. Pisces, we've got the Hanged Man coming in reversed to the Justice card to the 4 of Swords, also reversed. All right, so, you know, I'm sensing confusion, unsettled energy, fear of being hurt again. There could be like a legal matter that's involved with this. You're just a little confused, right? Hanged Man says, I don't really know, you know, how to really handle this. But the Hanged Man coming in reverse says, you know, if you just get out of this place of confusion and kind of just stop and take a look at a different angle, a new perspective, it's going to give you a lot of strength. Because reversed, you know, he is standing in tree pose. You know, and the Hanged Man is all about gaining perspective. So if you're feeling like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to handle this. I mean, this could be a divorce issue that you're dealing with. And it's really got you, you know, in your feels, not knowing how to really proceed, because this is like, you know, you don't want to get hurt again. I think that's the big thing, Pisces. I don't want to get hurt this week. You know, you want things to be fair, you want things to be balanced, you want things to work out, you know, in a good way. And if legal matters need to be attended to in this, you know, then that's what you have to do. The Hanged Man wants you to find clarity, all right? And I want you to find out, you know, how can we bring this, you know, so that we're in a grounded place rather than one that's up in the clouds. All right, Pisces, so that's what I've got for you. All right, so that's the week, a quick weekly look for all the signs. I just want to go through quickly because, you know, listen, things happen. Energies shift and change. But how is everybody in the chat room? How are you guys? Did you have a great weekend? Coronima Fires. I don't know if I said that right. You're a Cancer. Hi, grandmother. What is my country? My country is the USA. Yay. Please do Cancer. I did Cancer. Go back and you'll be able to pick it up, right? So Cancer's out there. But if you would like a card just for you, I'd be happy to pull it, all right? So Coron, Ima, let's see, Coron. We're just going to call you Coron, all right? I'm happy. I'm going to pull you a card, all right? And then I'll pull one for Mandy. Grateful, thankful for the messages from my friend out there, Coron. Would love a little reading on his Cancer life. So let's see. Give me a general reading for my Coron guy out there. Or girl, I don't know. All right, listen, we got the Six of Pentacles coming in reverse for you. You got to be careful of your money. And you also need to be careful of a situation that maybe, you know, somebody has been unfair with you. You know, it's not an even give and take when I see this come in reversed. It could be somebody you are dealing with, you know, because here, you know, I feel as if, you know, she's a Queen of Wands, a fire sign. And, you know, she may not have any reservations about it. So maybe this person, you know, might be breadcrumbing you or, you know, it's just, I just feel like the situation you are dealing with, Coron, is not balanced. Let's get one more. Now, it could be, see here we have this connection here. And I almost feel as if somebody might see somebody walking away from the other. Or it could be like maybe they see somebody, you know, has advances for others. But the main crux of your message, Coron, is that, you know, this is not a balanced situation. And in the end, it won't be healthy unless it turns around. You know, you might be dealing with somebody who's pretty, you know, shady on some level. So just be careful of that, okay? Mandy, how are you today? Hi, Tia. I'll read for you, too. Action, welcome in. Baby girl. Okay. All right, you guys have some questions in, so let's read them. All right, we are moving on to Mandy. Grateful, thankful for the messages from my friend Mandy Gregory. Hi, moving forward. Welcome in. All right, let's see. Mandy. Mandy. Let's find out messages from my friend Mandy. What can you tell me to tell Mandy at this time? Grateful, thankful for the messages from Mandy. All right, listen, you got the Three of Pentacles coming in. So this is collaboration. This could be somebody who, you know, maybe has come up to you and, you know, they like your work. You know, a lot of times when we see the Three of Pentacles, it's about working in collaboration with someone else. But I feel as if, you know, maybe you're being approached, you know, to maybe work with someone. You know, maybe somebody say, hey, you're really good at something, you know, why don't you come work for us and together we can do something. Anyway, it's a great energy, Mandy, you know, because I see that it's very positive, you know, around your work. So that's good for you, Mandy. Good things are coming in that regards. All right, Tia, let's see. You're next. Next in line. Hey, you guys, welcome in. Don't forget to hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All right, Tia, grateful, thankful for the messages for Tia. Good luck with that, Mandy. Looks promising. All right, Tia, you have a feeling like something's wrong with you. Grateful, thankful for the messages with Tia. Let's see whether or not... Hold on, Tia. I got to backtrack to Mandy for just a minute. Because your card talked about the Three of Pentacles, you know, in collaboration, working with others. And if you go to the thumbnail of this video, this is the card. It's funny. I have to backtrack here, you know, because this is an energy that if we all work together, we can really make money, you know. So yeah, Mandy, whatever that is, I feel like it could really produce something really good for you. All right, back to you, Tia. Sorry, I just needed to clear that energy out. All right, Tia, let's find out. You think there is something wrong with you? All right, let's see what's going on for Tia. Hi, Leslie. Welcome in. All right. Tell me about Tia. She thinks there's something wrong with her. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Tia. All right, Tia, I feel like there's some confusion, all right? And I don't think you're seeing the situation clear. Because I don't feel like there's anything really wrong with you, you know? I just feel like you're in a state of, you know, just not having all the information. And, you know, when we have the Two of Swords, you got to take the blindfold off, all right? And you can't pretend at what it is that's going around you. So I just feel as if, you know, the energy of you having this bad feeling that something's wrong with you, it's because you are like, whether you realize it or not choosing to make a decision that would actually make you feel better. You know, because when you make a decision in the Two of Swords, you're left with one sword. It's the sword of truth, the sword of power, and from there you can move. But as far as anything like really wrong with you, no, I don't feel like that's true. All right, Tia, so that's what I've got for you. Baby girl, welcome in. Hi, Asha. Oh, thanks. I love my plants. I've got a really small house and I have a lot of plants. Thanks. All right, let's see what's going on, baby girl. All right, let's see. Baby girl just wants a message. Grateful, thankful for messages for baby girl out there. She comes and supports me. I want to support her with a nice reading. So what can you tell me to tell baby girl? Grateful, thankful for the message for baby girl today. All right, let's see. Your card comes out the Ace of Swords. I was just talking about it. You know, this is a sword of truth and power. All right, when you are in the energy of the Ace of Swords, I mean, if you have a good idea, it's a powerfully good idea, you know, because there's victory sitting at the top of that sword. So I feel like you're at the brink of a brand new start in a direction. And if you have had a new inspiration or good idea, then go for it, baby girl, because I feel as if it's going to happen. But the other side of this, because I don't know your situation, you know, we have the Ace of Swords. You may have reached a point where you took control. And in taking control, that put you in a position of power. So, good message for you, baby girl. I like it. All right, moving forward. Your soon-to-be ex-husband lied about being at an interview. Uh-oh. Is he there with his mistress? Oh, my God. Going out with the car dealership lady. Let's find out what's going on with the ex. Ex was supposed to be at an interview and wasn't. What's going on with the ex and moving forward? Is he there with his mistress? Yes or no? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, let's see moving forward. I feel like he was. They might be there to buy a new car because a chariot can indicate a new car purchase. So he's over there buying a new car. Maybe she was buying a new car, but the answer is definitely yes. He was there with her. Asha, welcome in. You want some cards? Okay. Let's find out what's going on with Asha. Grateful, thankful for the messages. So listen, if you're out there and you want me to pull a card for you, just, you know, stick it in the chat because I will. It's a quiet chat room. The other day it wasn't so quiet. I was happy to see that. But today, you know, it's nice and mellow. All right, let's find out what's going on with Asha Do. Asha Do. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Asha. What's coming through for Asha? All right, let's see. All right, Page of Wands coming in reverse. You know, Asha, you may not go somewhere. All right, Page of Wands coming in reverse. This could be some news that you don't like. And usually the Page of Wands is taking off and doing something new, you know, going somewhere. And that's why I'm feeling like you might receive some message about you not going in somewhere where you probably were really hoping you were going to go, because the Page of Wands is something you like. And then with the Page of Wands, there's this energy of movement and travel. And it coming in reverse, I just feel as if something just doesn't come through. Yeah, bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit coming through with you. You know, so I just feel as if you've got to kind of rethink a game plan because as a result of this news. All right. That's what I got for you, Ashadu. Leslie. Of course you can have a card. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Leslie. Leslie would like a card. All right, let's see, Leslie. Grateful, thankful for my friend Leslie. Let's get a couple shuffles in here. What message do you have for Leslie today? Grateful, thankful for her energy, who she is. Happy she's here on this planet with us. All right, let's see what's coming through for Leslie. Are you ready? All right, Leslie, here it comes. Your card is, oh, you got two. I don't know what you are up to, but somebody else just had this. All right, Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles. All right, somebody may approach you or ask you to work with them. They like your work, and it produces all of this money. This is the Nine of Pentacles. Your hard work, Leslie, is really going to pay off. And, you know, you may find that you're working with other people, but that Nine of Pentacles, there's this little snail at the bottom. I mean, it may have been slow going, but when we reach the point of the Nine of Pentacles, this is pre-Empress. This is you feeling independent. You got money. Life is good. You can, you know, relax, really kind of enjoy yourself, treat yourself without worry. So, yeah, whatever it is that you do for work, Leslie, it's going to work for you. That's a great message. I would love to receive that message. All right, let's see. Action, what's going on with you? You got a love situation. All right, Action has a love situation. Grateful, thankful for the messages. All right, Tia, I'll do that. All right, let's see. What is going on? Yeah, you bet. Fireworks for you. Things are going to blow up. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I mean, this is what we strive for. Financial, you know, freedom. All right, let's see. Action. Let's find out what's going on with your current love situation. Grateful, thankful for their energy. What's going on? All right, the High Priestess. I don't know if you're dealing with a Pisces, but your intuition is on fire, okay? You know, this is you just knowing something. Like, if you have a gut feeling about your person, you're right on point, all right? You know, I mean, it's just like, if you have a feeling that they are up to no good, then they're up to no good. If you have a feeling they're doing something behind your back, then they're doing something behind your back. If you have a feeling they're planning something they don't want you to know, I mean, you get my drift, you know? So I really feel like, you know, you have to really trust it because your gut knows the truth, all right? So, yep, it's not wrong. Did that resonate, Action? I hope so. Baby girl, I don't know. Let's find out. Quick one. Let's find out. Is it over? Is it done already? The quick? I do. I feel like it is. All right. Harsh, you know, she's very harsh. She's very direct. She's very blunt. Very straightforward. You know, is it done already that quick? And I'm going to say yes. The answer is yes. Anyway, whatever it is, baby girl, it comes out as a yes. Hi, Kelly. All right, Tia, let's find out about your brother. Grateful, thankful for the messages that the tarot can give me around Tia's brother. We just need to know if he is okay. Hi, Louise. Welcome in. Right? Wasn't it crazy on here? Holy cow. I'd like to see that happen again. You know, I just won't get to all the questions, you know, but then it'll have to be like a crapshoot, you know, but I'll still just stay on and do it. All right, let's see what's going on for Tia. We want to know what's going on with her brother. Grateful, thankful for the messages for her brother. Okay. All right, Queen of Pentacles, here you are, you know, feeling like, you know, there's some instability and insecurity. I have to tell you, I don't think he's well, all right? Because the Sun card indicates, when it's reversed, that on the outside, you know, everything is going to be okay, but inside it's not. And I think you have an intuitive sense of that, that there's something not right. You know, Chariot, he's on the move, he's going places, he's doing something, but, you know, I feel as if, you know, you got to let him go. Queen of Wands. He could be with someone, the Queen of Wands. I don't think she's a nice person. I don't think he's happy, all right? But he's definitely on the move. Because I'm just feeling like the Sun card tells me everything. It's just like, you know, he's not going to let anybody know how he's really feeling. But I think he's with somebody who is very, very difficult. Because the Queen of Wands coming in reverse, I don't like her, you know, because she's mean, she's nasty, she's, you know, probably gonna got him on a short leash, you know, probably, you know, says nasty things about people. This is the kind of energy I feel he is with. I hope that helped you. All right, let's see what's going on in your world, Louise. May I ask, I am autistic. Am I autistic? I'm not upset about the possibilities. All right, well, let's find out. You know, let's find out. Is Louise Gilbert? I think, you know, to some extent, most of us have something, you know, that is a little quirky or a little off, you know, of the spectrum. You know, because, you know, but now it's just kind of more out there. But let's find out if you are autistic or not. Let's see what the cards have to say. No, it doesn't come up as you are autistic, you know, and here, I just feel as if, you know, maybe, you know, in the past people had made you feel like you were different, or like I said, you know, I just feel like everybody has a little level of, you know, that spectrum in us. But no, I don't feel like you are autistic. You probably, you know, are very unique. But no, you are not. All right. And if you were, you know, like you say, you wouldn't be upset about it. I mean, it's just, you know, how you operate. You know, but I just feel as if other people may have put labels on you or told you things or pointed out things that you do, you know, maybe, you know, you have some OCD, and, you know, you know, people make a note of that, and that makes you feel a little weird that, you know, you might have a little OCD, or, you know, maybe, you know, you love to like just kind of have a little quiet space and you can't have sensory issues, you know, around you. That's okay, you know, so, but no, the cards say no, you are not. All right, I hope that helped, Louise. Anybody else out there? We got 13 people in the chat. When will that pass? What, with your brother, Tia? Let me see, Tia. I'm trying to see if I can get a read on when will it pass. Judgment. You know, I think, you know, 20. You know, I don't think it's going to last long. I think anywhere between now and 2 months. You know, I think, you know, you got to kind of go through the motions. But I'm getting, you know, 2 months. But it can be any time now between 2 months. Tarot's terrible when it comes to trying to find time. All right, Mandy. You need to know if Ira and her family will be okay in the future. Let's find out, Mandy. Grateful, thankful for the message from Mandy. Mandy would like to know if Ira and her family will be okay in the future. Hi, Roswell Story. Welcome in. Right, Louise. Time doesn't exist. You're welcome, Tia. All right, let's find out. Mandy wants to know whether Ira and her family will be okay in the future. What can you tell me about that? Well, let's see. You know, I think in the future it's going to be better. Right now, though, I feel as if they're still in this point where, you know, they can't see in front of them. but he's almost there. So I think it is going to end here soon because the 10 of Wands brings an ending. And he's so close to being home. All right, but I do feel like it's going to continue just a little bit further, but very, very close. So almost. They'll be okay. I think they'll be okay in the future. All right? They got to kind of, you know, when we have the 10 of Wands energy, your friend, you know, they need to let go of some of the heaviness that they are carrying, you know, and, you know, kind of stay really optimistic, you know, so if they can pass off some of that heaviness somehow, some way, it will help them get to that end goal. But they're almost there. They're going to be okay. Kelly Young, welcome in. Are you spiritually protected? Immediately I got a yes. So let's pull a card, all right? Can you tell me whether or not Kelly Young is spiritually protected? Yep, the answer is definitely yes. You know, Ace of Wands. I think, you know, you are so loved by your guides because the Ace of Wands is very passionate. You know, when it comes up as an answer to this question, it's like, yes, you are definitely protected, but you are protected with so much passionate love. So I love that that was the answer for you, Kelly. Amruta, should you go out with this guy you met 2 weeks ago? Oh, Mandy, you're from the Ukraine. Wow, thanks for coming by. All right, Amruta, should I go out with this guy you met at a party 2 weeks ago? Let's find out. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Amruta. All right, let's see what's coming through for Amruta. Grateful, thankful. All right, the answer is no. He's going to make you very unstable. You know, I don't think if you got together with him, you would have a lot of instability, especially when it came to the home and life. And, you know, I mean, it would really be a struggle for you. So the answer for you is no, I wouldn't go out with them. No, no, no. Do you have a feeling about him? You know, is there just this feeling? Just needed the confirmation. Oh, good. Oh, good. You know, you just needed the confirmation. This is what I love about tarot. It doesn't really tell us anything we don't already know. It just confirms what we know. And I find that to be more the norm than anything with tarot. I felt like you know. Yeah, we knew. Yeah, we always know. Mandy, you're in the UK. I work with her and Tim. Anyway, it's great to find out where all you guys are from. I feel like I'm just from New Mexico. I'm just from here. Not a big deal, right? All right, you guys, listen, if you guys are, you know, done, and you're done here and don't have any more questions, I'm going to pop off. I'll be back later this week. Really grateful, thankful for each one of you guys coming, supporting my channel, being a part of my channel, turning it on. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. Anyway, I come here in a good way, and I hope that, you know, people get something good when they leave my channel. So that's all I'm hoping for. How is my ex? Oh, well, you know, I don't know. Tomorrow we go to the urologist, so we will find out. You know, right now he's doing okay, you know. We'll just call it stable. You know, but yeah. Anyway, they're going to put up for my ex, not this weekend. The next weekend, it's his birthday. He'll be 76 years old, and we're having a big ceremony and celebration. And we're just going to pray for good things for his birthday year to come, you know, and see if we kind of lift him up that way. Anyway, that's what we got going on in my world. So, all right, you guys, listen, I'm going to take off now. Be well, be happy, be kind, and I will see you all at another reading, all right? And let's see if maybe I can pop in the middle of the week. Wouldn't that be great? I will try to put that on the schedule, all right? Anyway, thanks, you guys. Much love, you guys. Much love to all of you, and I'll see you on another day. Bye now.